My other story was really does solidify like my not fear in death. So this was a patient who was my favorite patient. Like I always joke how I don't have favorites, but like he might have been my favorite. I don't know. He came on service again young. He had a lot of mental health issues, and someone with his disease probably would have lived 3 months usually, right? But for whatever reason, this man lived like 9 months, longer than normal. And even though he had a lot of mental health issues, meaning when we went into his apartment, he had a hoarding issue. He, was very open, like, I push everybody away. I don't have anyone in my life. It's just me. I'm alone, blah, 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 right? And he sort of seemed like a quote unquote like problem case. But because he was so willing to like let go of all of his shit, literally and physically, he allowed us to come in and kind of clean out his apartment. He opened his heart up and kind of like let family from like out of state come see him. He just sort of had this like opening, accepting embrace of like the fact that he was dying, and changed his whole life. So he ended up living 9 months in this kind of newly found apartment with nothing hoarding in it anymore, like a safe place. He had family come in town. We all became super close to this guy, and he was pretty healthy for like the last 6 months. So I got to really know him. My whole point is that we became very close. We talked about all types of existential stuff like you and I are doing right now, right? He was amazing to talk to. When he was actively dying, we had a continuous care nurse in his home, meaning a nurse 24 hours. And I could tell when I went to go see him that day that he would die that day. When you get good at like knowing when, unless you have the miracle lady with the pancakes. I didn't know that, but you get good at like knowing someone's going to die. So I could tell he was going to die that day. And I said to the continuous care nurse, please text me when he dies. I want to know. She's like, of course. I said my goodbyes in my head to him, and I went to my car, right? And as hospice nurses, you're like doing this every day. You're like getting in your car and you're going to the next patient. It's like not that big of a thing for someone to be dying. But for him, because he was like, oh, my man, like we were friends. I didn't feel sad, but I remember feeling like walking out of his apartment and being like, so-and-so, like, I love you so much, man. Like, good luck. Like, good luck out there. Like, I hope you find what you're looking for type stuff, right? In my head. And I got in my car and I went to leave. And right before I left, something stopped me, and I kind of like stopped again. And I said a little prayer of like, I love you. Thank you so much for your friendship, something like that. And all of a sudden, I could hear his voice in my head. It was like all of a sudden, again, time stood still, and I could hear his voice in my head clearly. And he just said, oh my gosh, Julie. Just like that. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. He was kind of like whispering with like, it's hard to describe.
Joy.
Yeah. Like it's hard to describe.
Wonder.
Yep. Wonder, joy. And he looked like this. Like he was kind of like giving me an image of himself and having me hear his voice. And it was like he was almost soaring. And he was like, oh my gosh, Julie, oh my gosh. If I only would have known. If I only would have known. And he didn't ever finish the sentence, but I knew what he meant. If I only would have known, I wouldn't have been so afraid. Because him and I had conversation after conversation after conversation about what it was going to be like to die. And I never gave him, like, I never was like, don't worry. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like. I think about this stuff all the time too. And he had a lot of fear around it. He had a lot of fear around it. And so to hear him go, oh my gosh, Julie, oh my gosh. And like, you see me smiling now because that's what it felt like. It felt like he was like, I can't believe this. If I only would have known, if I only would have known. And he kept saying that over and over and over again. And then giving me feelings of like freedom and peace and joy, words that don't fully describe the feeling I'm feeling at the moment, right? And so much so that I'm weeping in my car, tears of joy, tears of love and peace. And I was so happy for him because in his everyday life, he did not feel this way. He did not feel free. And that's all he ever wanted. And as a recovering alcoholic, I know that feeling. I know what it feels like to want to be free. And I could tell he felt that now. He felt it. And he just kept smiling and basically laughing and going, oh my gosh, Julie, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And it kept kind of getting louder and more excited. And then eventually, boom, done. I'm back in my car. I'm kind of like, what the hell? Like wiping my tears. Like this kind of stuff doesn't really happen to me. I know I'm giving you stories, but it's not like an everyday thing for me at all. So I'm like wiping my tears, like, what the hell was that? And then my phone beeped. I looked at my phone. The nurse inside, because I never left, said, so-and-so just died. And I thought, I know. Because I think he just showed me. Like, I feel like he just showed me what it was like to cross over to the next. And of course, I didn't say that to her. This is a lot of stories of like, I never told anybody this for years. I never said anything to that nurse. I never told anyone because I didn't know what that was and I didn't want to be judged. And it's only till recently when people started being like,